I know there's a lot of you watching this video who love to eat eggs. Maybe you eat them on a regular basis, but are they really healthy for you? There's a lot of conflicting information out there. We're going to break it down coming right up. Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode here of The Vital Blend. My name is Anthony. I want to talk to you today about eggs. A lot of people love eating eggs, and there's a lot of debate over whether or not they're healthy, whether or not they're good for you. And I want to kind of get to the bottom of it so that maybe you can make up your own mind as to what kind of role it plays in your own diet. One thing we have to realize is, that eggs are really not for humans. First of all, they're for chickens. It's to grow a chicken. It's got everything packed into it that is needed to grow, feathers and beaks and claws and necks and whatever it is that goes into making a chicken. So it's really not for humans. It's not to say that we can't eat it or that we don't eat it. We do. Humans will eat most anything, but it's really not for us. It's to make a chicken. It's a very, very rich food, eggs. It contains a lot of, cholesterol, saturated fat. It's got a lot of minerals and vitamins in it too, but it's not a very balanced food. It's a very, very rich food. You have to be careful with any kind of rich food. I don't care what it is. You never want to take a rich food and make it a major part of your diet. It's just not a good idea because these foods are kind of out of whack. They're not very, very well balanced. Like something in nature, like spinach or tomatoes or apples and bananas. We don't have any kind of a debate about whether or not these foods are good for us. We don't ever debate plant foods as to whether or not they're good for us. Why? Well, because these are human foods. These are the foods that were made for humans. And there's no major industries behind them that are making record profits the way we have in the meat and dairy industry, because these companies know that their foods are not really all that good for you, but it's their job to convince you and make you think that they're really good for you. That's why they've got this brainwashing thing going on, where they have you thinking of meat and protein. When you think of milk, you think of calcium. When you think of fish, you think of omega-3s. And that's because of the word associations that they've set up through their advertising and their PR. And they learned a big, big lesson from the tobacco fiasco back in the 70s when it came out that smoking cigarettes led to getting cancer and to heart disease. And they said, you know what, we're not going to let this happen to us. So they basically try to take the scientific studies that work against them, that show that, meat and dairy is not very, very healthy, and they try to spin them and crush them, and they try to play up the minor benefits. They do anything that they can to make sure that they can get their product to you and that you believe that it's healthy. I want to share with you a little bit of video here from Dr. Michael Greger. He runs the nutritionfacts.org website, and this just goes to show you some of the tactics that these companies use to try to get you to believe that their products are more healthier than they really are. So check this out.
For decades, on the basis of concerns from the American Heart Association and consumer groups, the Federal Trade Commission carried out successful legal action, upheld by the Supreme Court, to compel the egg industry to cease and desist from false and misleading advertising that eggs had no harmful effects on health. See, anti-cholesterol attacks on eggs resulted in severe economic loss through a reduction in egg consumption, so the egg industry created a National Commission on Egg Nutrition to combat the anti-cholesterol, anti-egg publicity with ads like this, exclaiming there is no scientific evidence whatsoever that eating eggs in any way increases the risk of heart attack, which the U.S. Court of Appeals found patently false and misleading. Over the last 36 years, the American Egg Board has spent hundreds of millions of dollars to convince people eggs are not going to kill them, and it's working. In combination with aggressive nutritional science and public relations efforts, research shows that the advertising has been effective in decreasing consumers' concerns over eggs and cholesterol heart health. This is from their internal strategy documents I got a hold of. Currently, they're targeting moms. Their approach is to surround moms wherever they are. They pay integration fees for egg product placement in TV shows. To integrate eggs into The Biggest Loser, for example, could be $1 million. But getting some kids' storytime reading program to integrate eggs may only take $500,000, though. The American Egg Board keeps track of who is and is not a friend of eggs. They pay scientists $1,500 to sit and answer questions like, what studies can help disassociate eggs from cardiovascular disease? From the beginning, their arch nemesis was the American Heart Association, over which they fought a major battle over cholesterol. In documents retrieved through the Freedom of Information Act, we see even the USDA repeatedly chastising the egg industry for misrepresenting the American Heart Association position.
All right, so what'd you think about that? You definitely can see how these companies are trying to spin it so that, try to make it look like eggs are more healthier than they actually are. And you know what? The big red flag is, there's laws against claiming that eggs are healthy. The USDA will not allow it. As you can see, the Supreme Court doesn't even like it. Now, they don't have this problem with apples and oranges and bananas and tomatoes, right? Yeah, because those foods are truly healthy. You can claim that they are. Why can't you do that with eggs if they truly are? Because they're not. And it's well known that they're not really healthy for you. And so these companies are trying their best to try to get around the law, bend the law, do whatever they can to say healthy without really saying healthy, because they can't legally. And that should be a red flag for you. Is that the kind of food that you want to make a prominent part of your diet? Something to think about. There's many other factors that go into how healthy eggs would be for you on a day-to-day basis, depending on what else you're also eating and maybe your family history. And so I've got some other articles, actually some other videos down below that you may want to check out that will kind of go deeper into eggs and some of the findings that have come out about its effect on your health. I really do encourage you to check that out. And it's a shame that we've got people on the internet that are promoting eggs as healthy. I did a little bit of a search on YouTube, and there are doctors who are coming right out claiming that eggs are healthy for you based on some of the claims that are coming out of these companies trying to play up these minor benefits. And here's a couple of balloon heads that you should see here. Check this out.
Hi, my name is Celine Erasmus. I'm a registered dietitian, a professional speaker, and a corporate wellness consultant. I'm author of Fast Food for Sustained Energy and a regular media columnist. Hi, in this video clip I'd like to share some smarter choices around choosing and eating eggs. Now, eggs got a lot of bad publicity in the 90s, and a lot of us perhaps think that we shouldn't be eating too many of them because they push up our cholesterol or they might make us put on weight. Let's take a look at a few egg facts. An egg provides about 315 kilojoules, provides 7 grams of protein, 5 grams of fat. What we know is the fat in egg. And by the way, it's the egg yolk that contains the fat. There's no fat in the albumin or the egg white. That's pure protein. But the fat in the egg yolk, the 5 grams, 2/3 of that is actually the healthier unsaturated fats. Also, the egg yolk contains compounds like lecithin, choline, phospholipids, which are actually good for us in terms of brain development and helping our bodies to manage cholesterol. So what we know today, there's a lot of studies showing that there is no evidence to support that you should not be eating eggs, even if you are managing your heart health and cholesterol.
So then, once you've identified a high-quality source of eggs, the question becomes, how should you prepare eggs? Now, I believe that ideally the yolk should be consumed raw or with as little heating done to it as possible, because that's where most of the nutrients are. They're in the yolk, they're not in the whites. It's particularly problematic if you tend to heat it at high temperatures, such as scrambled egg, because the cholesterol, many of the nutrients in that yolk can be easily oxidized with these high temperatures. It's probably one of the worst ways to have your eggs is scrambled. And especially if you're using iron cookware, because that will also catalyze the oxidation of those fats. And regularly consuming oxidized fat can contribute to chronic inflammation in your body, which is definitely associated with increased risk of plaque formation and heart disease.
All right, so we had a couple more videos there from some pretty well-respected people. One was a registered dietitian, the other was a doctor, Dr. Mercola, who is very well-respected. They had two different points of view as to how you should eat eggs. The first one was like, eat eggs, and more eggs, however you want it. The doctor was like, look, you should eat them raw, which I thought was kind of shocking, because about 100,000 people a year die from eating raw eggs. due to the salmonella poisoning, which is one of the main reasons why the USDA doesn't allow anybody to claim that they're healthy, because you shouldn't die from eating something that's healthy. You don't get that problem with apples and oranges and bananas, but you do get it with eggs. Okay, so when you've got these studies coming out that are kind of twisted and distorted by these major companies saying that eggs are healthy, you get people like this who come out with very different points of view. Even the doctor, he said that, when you start cooking eggs, it starts to oxidize, and that can lead to heart disease. So it's like, eat them raw, where you can have a chance of getting a disease, maybe salmonella poisoning, or when you start cooking them, you're going to get heart disease. We don't have these conversations about spinach. Okay, so let this be a red flag for you. What do you think? What do you think about eggs? Are they healthy? Do you eat them? Put your questions and your comments below. Click like and subscribe. Share it with your friends if you think it's very helpful for them. And be back for more videos. I've got them coming your way. Don't forget to check out my free ebook. If you're looking to start eating healthy, I've got a book for you that I put together. It's a jumpstart guide. It's a very quick book, and you can get it at freejumpstartguide.com. I'll get it right over to you, all right? More great videos coming your way from the Vital Blend. Thanks so much for stopping by, and I'll be back with you again soon.